speak on this particular issue, but just seeing as there was reference to antisocial behaviour by Deputy MacDonald, I think we all know that it's an issue that we come across, and it can be a very difficult issue to address, and particularly during the pandemic. Certainly we would get reports of people complaining about large groups of young people gathering and so on. Now, there's two ways you can deal with that. You can blame the young people and take a coercive approach, which I don't think works, or you can recruit people directly from the community to work in community and youth outreach projects. And this is an area which I think we have really spectacularly failed. In fact, I think we've gone backwards and made situations worse when we could have improved them and dealt with them in a way that doesn't cause problems and conflicts in the community. And I can think of several such youth outreach projects in our area that were just closed down. And often people who really were from the community, who knew the young people, they mightn't always have had certain formal qualifications, and that was sometimes used as excuses for getting rid of them. But inevitably, when those projects were closed down, the situation worsened. And the people who were in those projects would tell you there's going to be an antisocial problem in this area if this project is closed down. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened.
Thank you, Deputy.
So I think, as well as looking at the policing side of it, we need to look in a serious way of recruiting on a fairly significant scale youth and community outreach workers from the community.
Thank you, Deputy. Please.
I agree with Deputy Boyd Barrett's analysis in terms of the community dimension to this. First of all, I think during COVID-19 it's been a very difficult time for young people in this country. And the Central Statistics Office, in its report just published, identifies that the lowest levels now of satisfaction in terms of quality of life is in the 19 to 24 age group. And if you think about it, if you were a Leaving Cert student last year, your Leaving Cert year was undermined, upended. You move into college, your first year is completely not what you expected it to be. You're now moving into January without a proper college year. No one has travelled this year because of COVID. It's been difficult for all age cohorts, but it's been particularly difficult for young people. Jobs haven't been as available either because of the various lockdowns and severe restrictions. And so outlets where people will get work hasn't materialised. And if you're young, you want to be out and about. And therefore, there has to be a very multi-factored approach to helping young people get through this period. To be fair to An Garda Síochána, and in areas where we had antisocial behaviour in the past or where we had difficulties, it was by adopting a community Garda and community-led approach, with community Garda on the ground, working with young people, working with youth officers, youth workers, better word, that we got the best results. And I met recently with Deputy Paul McAuliffe, for example, Deputy John Hart and Mr McEntee around the Scramner issue in certain communities in Dublin. They're proposing legislation. And again, it reminded me of a period in communities 20 years ago when we had difficulties with joyriding and so on. But the development of An Garda Síochána's community model helped to deal with situations in those communities effectively. I think we have to reinvest in communities, and I think we have to rebuild the infrastructure in certain communities to support community development. And something like a modern version of the RAPID programme is required. Now, I know Minister Joe O'Brien is keen on that, and we had a Cabinet subcommittee yesterday of the Social Affairs, or the Social Inclusion Committee of the Cabinet, and we identified areas like that for further work and for further development. Because I do think we need to build up a multidisciplinary team of supports in communities that have challenges to help the community of all ages deal with it.
Thank you. Thank you.